Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to our 8th Zoom technology class. I hope you're all doing very well. It's great to see all of you. We are going to start today with a very quick video. This video is it's a very short video. It's about 2 or 3 minutes. It's a man trying to help his mother get set up on Zoom. I thought it was a very appropriate video. I've shown this at all my semesters. If you've taken a class with me, you've seen this before. It is in Hebrew, so if you don't know the words, there are subtitles. So pay attention to the subtitles, and I hope you enjoy this. Okay. Okay, I hope everyone enjoyed that. That was basically just it was a funny video. If you weren't able to understand it, I hope you were able to get something out of the captions. It was basically just a man helping his mom get set up on Zoom. Something I thought you would enjoy a bit. Okay, so it is Wednesday. We don't usually have classes on Wednesdays, but we are for this week because we can't have a class this Sunday. This is the 8th Zoom class out of 10. This is lesson 8. Just a reminder, if you would like to ask something, a question, contribute something, a comment that you have, feel free to unmute yourself and just raise your hand virtually. You can also attend our Q&A session every Monday night at 7 p.m. where you can ask your questions there. Also, if you have not done so already, please join our WhatsApp chat or our email list by reaching out to me. You could put your email or phone number into the chat. I'll be happy to add you. And finally, I'm assuming many of you don't know, even though I've been mentioning it, but basically we have released a virtual portal a few weeks ago that gives you access to all of our classes, more specifically our popular computer basics class, and you could participate in the class directly from your homes at your own pace. There are professional videos that we spend time recording. If you'd like to check that out, you can go into the chat right now. There's a link and just click on that link. We also send it out in our WhatsApp and in the email list. Just by clicking on it, you will go to our user-friendly, self-guided portal that we hope you will benefit from. Okay, let's get started. So for those of you who were here on Sunday, we learned how to use video and music streaming services, including YouTube, Spotify, Netflix, and Apple Music, and also how to manage a smartphone, including how to use Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, screenshots, quitting apps, many things like that. Today's lesson is specific to online banking, something that is pretty relevant and necessary during these times. We're going to be looking at online banking in general with your specific bank account. Then a program known as Venmo, which allows you to pay money using your phone. It's a very cool app. I'm sure you've heard of it, but we'll introduce it to you today. Apple Pay, another app that we're going to show you. We're going to look at the Stocks app, and then we're going to have a breakout room session. So we do have a lot to get through. We might not get to all of it, but I'm hoping that we will. So let's actually get started. So online banking is basically exactly what it sounds. I know many of you are so used to, having handwritten checks and writing things down and keeping track of your receipts and walking over to the bank, counting the coins, doing all that procedure. And that isn't as efficient as it used to be. And especially during these times where some seniors don't like leaving the house or going to a bank, this actually might be pretty helpful for you. This has actually been the lesson that we've received the most positive feedback from afterwards. So I recommend, we are going to be giving you kind of a lot of important information to you. I think you would benefit if you kind of wrote down some bullet points as we go through. But online banking means using a computer, some sort of smartphone to transfer money, pay bills, view your account balance, or do almost any other banking activity. It really is gives you the ability to do anything that you would by walking into a bank. Generally, if you do already have a bank account, you'll want to use your online banking with that same account, which I'm assuming many of you will be doing if you haven't done it before. But you will be able to use online banking as well. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, all right. So there are a few advantages of using online banking over walking into a bank. Number one, it's usually free. There's no stamps that you have to pay to send in checks. You don't have to spend any money. It's all free. Number two, you'll make fewer trips to the bank. Definitely gonna save you time. You don't have to worry about getting to the bank before they close. Online never closes. Things online are always open. You can go to their website at 2 a.m. and they will not reject you. But if you walk into TD Bank, then not sure that they'll let you come in. And finally, many banks have mobile apps, which makes it really easy for you to get to this information because you'll obviously download the app that is affiliated with your bank and use that app in order to keep track of all your payments. So let's actually get started. So I would say almost all the banks have apps. If you are not with a popular bank, there might be chances where you aren't in one of the most central banks, and they might not have an app, but banks like TD Bank, Bank of America, Chase Bank, and many others do have apps on your phone. We're going to be using TD Bank as the demo for today, but the process is the same for all the apps. If you do not find your bank on the App Store, just like we're going to do for TD Bank, that's also fine. You could use the internet just by typing in the name of your bank into the internet. You should get a website for your bank, and you could type in your information. Just the app makes it a lot easier. Okay. So I'm now going to share my phone screen. Joe, are you able to give me co-host? Because when I made you host, I lost my powers. I'm going to share my phone screen. There we go. Okay. Okay, everyone should be looking at my phone screen right now. So just like we did before, to download any sort of third-party app, you're always going to the App Store. That's always going to be step one, is to go to the App Store to download any third-party app. And you're going to click on the little magnifying glass at the bottom right of the screen in order to search. You're always looking for a magnifying glass when you want to search. And once you click on that, you will see a search bar and you could type in anything you want. In this case, it should be the name of your bank. So I'm going to go ahead and type in TD Bank. And it should be the first one that comes up. Maybe it's the second, but here it is, TD Bank US. If I type in Bank of America, we also see Bank of America over here. If I type in, I don't know, Citibank, there it is, Citi Mobile. That's the app for Citibank. So really, I'm assuming that most of you have banks that do have apps, but occasionally you'll get one that doesn't. I'm going to be using TD Bank. So once you type in the name of the app and you find it, It should be towards the top. You just want to click on the button that says Get, G-E-T. On my phone, it says Open because I already have it downloaded. But on your phone, you're looking for the words Get. It should be in the exact place as the words Open. And you just want to click on that. Once you have that open, you will be able to, the phone will start to download the app. It will typically be placed at the end of your home screen. So this is the home screen where all the apps are. And if you swipe and you keep looking, you just have to kind of scan them and look for the app that you just downloaded. There's mine, the TD Bank one. You're looking for that logo. Of course, if you use another bank, you're looking for that as well. It's usually at the end of your app. So you might have to swipe left and right in order to find it. Okay, now, once you have downloaded the app, you should click on it and you'll be taken to a page that looks like this. Now, if you're not here, if you do not see this page, you might see a space that says sign in, and you'll be asked to type in with your bank credentials. So it might ask you for the email address or a password, or maybe your PIN, or maybe your debit card number. It will ask you for some sort of fields that will give them the ability to confirm that it's you who is trying to access this bank information. I would feel pretty secure typing in the information. There should be no need to be nervous about this, because this is in fact your bank that you're putting the information into. The only thing is you want to make sure you download the correct app, because I'm sure there are some other ones, TD, that aren't the realistic one. You're looking for just TD Bank. Once you have it downloaded, type in your information and you should be taken to this page. Now, we have a bunch of buttons at the top of the screen. The ones that you're going to have to really pay attention to is accounts, transfer, deposit, and pay a bill. Now, the reason why we're skipping send money is you can use this send money functionality, but we're going to show you Venmo later today. And I believe, or I think that for your purposes, Venmo is a better app for the purpose of sending money from one person to another. So in that case, I would recommend using Venmo instead of this one. But if you would like to try this one out, you can. We're not going to show it to you because we're going to show you Venmo instead. But these other four things are actually important. So we're first going to click on accounts. Now, you see that it will here. I kind of skipped over that, but when you click on accounts, if you're already signed in, it will take you directly into the app. If you have a phone that has the home button, it will ask you for you to lay your finger on the circle button, just like you would to scan your Touch ID. If you have a much newer phone, you might have to hold up your face to the phone so it accept your what's called your Face ID. Let's turn this on. But the simplest way, if you don't have all that functionality, is just type in your password, which is the other option, just by typing in that information. Okay. All right. So I'm going to click on accounts, and you'll see at the top where it says Welcome Jordan, which means that you're in the right place. You typed in your number, and you will see a list of your accounts. If you have just started with TD Bank, then no, sorry. I'm assuming many of you already have a TD Bank, but if you have not put it into the app yet, meaning you're just starting, you haven't actually put it in, you'll see Open a New Account, which is over here. And by clicking on that, you'll be able to put in the information of your account. You'll see, you'll click on whether it's a checking account, a credit card account, saving money / market accounts. I'm assuming many of you are doing checking accounts or credit card accounts. I'm assuming that many of you fall into one of those categories, but you see that there are so many different options depending on which type of app you're using. Give me 1 second. Let me just get this. Okay. All right. Now, once you have put in your information, you should see a list of all your accounts here. You could have more than one account on this TD Bank just by clicking on open a new account. Every time you open this, you'll see that I have one account here, TD Convenience Checking. But if I want to add a second account, I'll just click on open a new account. You can have as many accounts as you want on this app. And when we get to transferring money, I'm going to show you how to transfer money from one account to another. You'll see that you'll actually need to do that in order to be able to do that. So if you click on your account, so I'm going to click on TD Convenience Checking. You'll see that it will actually list all your most recent purchases. If it's green, that means it's money that you have received, money that's been added. If there's a minus, that means that it's money that you've lost, money that's been taken out. This is really great because if you want to make sure a purchase has gone through, or you want to, let's say, make sure that something went right, or maybe there's some sort of fraud going on, you can go through this list and make sure that everything is realistic and kind of match it up with your receipts, because this website is 100% correct, because this is anything that has ever been charged to your credit or debit card or your bank account. You'll see minuses and pluses everywhere, and you can keep track of that here. And it even says the date, the exact date of when it was done, whether it was a cash out, where is it from, which debit card was used, whether it was a mobile deposit. It will give you all the information that you need about that individual purchase. You can go to details, which is the second option. This is activity, right? The activity you've done on your bank. If you go to details, you'll see information about the card, such as the account number, interest rate, all that information. You can look at that here. And let's see what this is. This is also, I guess, statements. There's so many different things that you could look at on here. Now the next thing we're going to look at is to pay a bill, which is over here, right? We have pay a bill, we have transfer, and we have deposit. Now those were three of the buttons we saw at the beginning over here, right? We saw deposit, transfer, and pay a bill, right? We said we're going to skip over send money, but transfer, deposit, and pay a bill, those are the three important ones. So the first thing is, if I click on transfer, you're going to see that it's actually not going to let me do anything. The reason why is because I only have one account here. If you do not have more than one account, what are you transferring from? You need at least two accounts in order to transfer from one to another. If you do have two accounts, let's say you have a business one and a personal one, and you want to send $20 from one to another, then you would click on transfer account. It will ask you for the amount of money. It will ask you from which account you want to transfer from, which account you want to transfer to, and you will then, and it will actually do it instantaneously on the app, just moving the money over in a matter of seconds. Now, if I go to deposit, which is like it sounds like if you want to, let's say, scan a check, if I click on deposit, you'll see that it will ask you a few questions. This I could actually walk you through. It says deposit to. So I'm going to put in my account, right? I'm going to click on it and I'm going to select my only account. The reason why I ask you this is because if you have more than one account, you could actually switch between them. Then it says amount. So on the check, you want to type into where it says $0 right now, but I'm going to type in, let's say it was a $30 check. So I'm going to type in where it says the dollars. I'm going to write $30. Make sure to type in those extra zeros, or else it's now 30 cents. So I'm going to type in 2 more zeros until it gets to $30. And then you're basically asked to take a picture of the front and back of the check. Now you have to be really careful because this has to be very precise. You'll see that it actually gives you kind of like a border. It says exactly where the date should be, where the memo should be, where the number should be. Sometimes if you're not on a very dark surface, it might kind of mess it up, and sometimes you might have to do it a few times. But if you hold up your phone straight, you have a check in front of you, you should be able to get through it. The same thing applies to the back. You'll just hold up your camera. It should scan the check. If after a while it doesn't do it, then it will say, please move farther back, or please move closer, or please straighten the check. It might give you some kind of hint on what you're doing wrong. Once you have typed in the information, you will click on continue, which is the button at the bottom of the screen. And then it will ask you to confirm. It will say, are you sure you would like to put into this checking account this amount of money from this check? It will confirm that it could identify the front and the back pictures. And it will also be done instantaneously. Sometimes it does take a little longer depending on how big the check is, but sometimes it could take a few seconds. So if you're not in so much of a rush, this definitely is a good idea, and it's definitely much quicker than going to a bank, which involves transportation and waiting for the process to go through, et cetera, when this is just done at your home. And then finally, we have pay a bill, which is over here, right? We're skipping over send money, but we have pay a bill. And if you click on that, you can actually pay a bill virtually. I don't have any bills right now, right? It looks empty in here. But if you want to pay a bill, you'll just click on the button. It says add a bill to get started. It's in green over here. I'll click on that. It will ask you, who do you want to pay? You're basically writing a check on the app. So you would type in who do you want to pay? And then it's hard for me to demonstrate this, but you would type in who do you want to pay. It will ask you how much. It will ask you to kind of sign with your finger So you would actually sign on the phone with your finger on the screen, and just like the check, you would go through with it. This is very similar to inserting a deposit, but it could all be done directly from your home. So accounts takes you to the information about your account, including recent purchases, when money's been extracted from your account. Transfer, assuming you have more than one account, allows you to send money from one to another. Deposit allows you to scan and take pictures of checks in order to put them into your bank account. And you could pay bills virtually by clicking on pay a bill, clicking on add new bill, typing in the name of the person you want to send the money to, the amount of money, and then continuing from there. So that was a brief overview. If you do use another app besides TD Bank, it might look slightly different, but you're definitely going to see, if you don't see it on top, you're definitely going to see somewhere the transfer button, the deposit button, pay a bill. These are applicable to all banks. So maybe it will be at the bottom, or maybe it will be on the side, but it's definitely going to be somewhere. This is specific to TD Bank, but there are tons of similarities, which is why we're not going to go into each of them individually. Okay, Joe, are you able to share the presentation? All right, so we're now going to look at Venmo, and then, like I said, we skipped over paying a bill. No, sorry, we skipped over sending money because I think that Venmo is a more appropriate app to show you. Venmo is becoming very, very, very popular nowadays. Now I'll explain Venmo. I'll read what it says on the screen. You probably found yourself in a situation where you needed to pay a friend but didn't have a cash or check on you. These situations could include sharing a cab, splitting a meal, or maybe even paying rent or bills to a roommate. Instead of going to an ATM or writing a check, there's an easier solution, and that is Venmo. Venmo is an online service. It is owned by PayPal that allows you to quickly pay and request money from your friends. It also functions as a social media platform where you can view, like, and comment on your friends' recent payment activities. So Venmo is only used to pay from one person to another. You cannot go to a restaurant and hold up your phone app and say, I'm using Venmo. That's not how it works. Venmo is specific to paying from one person to another. So like it described in there, let's say you're in a taxi cab and you went with your friend and you want to pay half of it and your friend wants to pay half of it. You could just say, you know what, you go ahead and pay, I'll Venmo you the half of the money, right? Instead of making it so complicated, you pay the full price, you pay the $20, and then I'll send you 10 over Venmo, right? Making it pretty efficient. Also, when you go out for dinner, it's also pretty helpful. All right, Joe, you can go to the next slide. So just like the TD Bank app, we are going to either the App Store if you're on an iPhone or the Google Play Store if you're on a Samsung or Android. To download the app, type in Venmo and download. It should be the first option there. The app looks like it's a blue icon with like a white V in it. That's what you're looking for. All right, Joe, let's go to the next. Okay, so when you open up Venmo, it will ask you, just like the bank app, for some basic information. Usually it's your email, your name, your birthday, and you have the option to either sign in with an email, which is what most people do. Most people use the second option. Or if you do have a Facebook account, you can click on sign up with Facebook and it will use your information from Facebook, so you don't have to type it all in again. But I did it through sign up through email. I'm recommending you do it through sign up with email, unless you are very connected to your Facebook account and you want to use it there as well. Like I said, you will be asked for your email address, phone number, and bank account information. Now, Venmo, basically, you could put in a bank account, you could put in a credit card ID, you could put in a debit card number. Any of those are fine. But this is the place that Venmo will use to both accept money from other people and send money to other people. So you definitely want to put in the bank account you feel fine doing that. You just like the TD Bank, you could put in more than one bank account into this app. All right, let's see what's next. All right, Joe. So now we go to your phone because we can do it from there. So we are now going to share our phone screen, and we are going to look at how to pay someone on Venmo and how to receive or request money from someone on Venmo. Venmo, this might sound a little bit weird, but Venmo has somewhat become of a social media platform, meaning you could see payments made by like famous people. We're not going to go so much into that because it isn't too relevant. And we're actually going to show you how to make sure your account on Venmo is private, because I'm sure many of you do not want others seeing every time you make a purchase, unless you maybe do, but I'm assuming many of you do not. So we're going to show you how to make sure your Venmo account is private, so that you can make purchases without other people knowing about it. So Venmo is on Joe's screen, is at the bottom of the screen. It's a blue app with a white V. Once again, to get this here, you will not have it if you haven't used it before. You need to go to the App Store, which is over here. Type in Venmo and download it from there. We're not going to go through that because we just did the same thing for TD Bank. It's the same procedure. Go to the app, type in Venmo, and click on Get in order to download it. Okay, now, Joe, if you should click on Venmo. Okay, so this is what the Venmo homepage looks like. That's what it's called, the homepage. And you'll see at the top of the screen, we have a globe, we have two people, and we have one person. This also isn't too important, but the globe is to see payments made by people globally, meaning all around the world. The two faces are to see payments that involve people in your contacts, so people that you're friends with, people that you've communicated with. And then the last one is just one person, which are payments that just involve you. So payments that either you have given or payments that you have received, that's all coming from here. I always say on the last one because I want to see payments that I've been involved with. But if you would like to see other payments, you can click on these other options. I would recommend staying on this third option. So you can see here all the payments that you have been involved in, and you'll see that they are blue for taking for money that you've lost and green for money that you have received. Okay. Let's say, all right. So the first thing I think that we should do is make sure that your account's private. Joe, are you able to show them that? How to make your account private?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
So the first thing you should do is you should click on the 3 lines on the top right of your screen. If Jordan can annotate that. Okay, and then once you click on that, you should see settings all the way on the bottom. That looks like that same gear for your settings app. And once you click on that, you see towards the top of the screen, you should see something called privacy. And then if you click on that, you can choose public, which is visible to everyone on the internet, friends, which is visible to the sender, recipient, and their Venmo friends. And the third one, which is recommended, is private, which is visible to only the sender and the recipient.
Right. So I think private is the default, so you shouldn't really have to mess around with this. But if it isn't, you should do exactly what Joe said. Go to the 3 dots, click on settings, click on privacy, and make sure that private is checked off. Okay. Now, also, I think we see all right. So I think we should do now is showing how to pay and request, which starts from the button at the bottom right. Julie, you wanna go through that, paying and requesting money?
Okay, so you can both pay and request money on Venmo. So if you click on that blue button on the bottom, that's how you're going to start. And once you click on that, you'll see that you can type in the name of whoever you want to either request money from or pay money to. So here, Joe is typing in Jordan Miller. And when he clicks on Jordan's name, he'll be able to either pay or request Jordan Miller money. So he can type in the amount of money. So let's say he types in $5. Then below it, it says, what is it for? So you could give a brief description. So you could say tech class. And then you're either going to pay Jordan the money. So you would click on the pay button, or you're going to request that money from Jordan. So then you would press on the request button, whichever one you're looking to do. And once you press on either of those buttons, it will complete the transaction. So right now, Joe pressed pay, and it's going to give you a confirmation, and you would click on that green pay button. And once you do that, it would transfer the money to Jordan's Venmo account.
Great. And also you see how it says it does say private at the bottom right over here, meaning that this will remain private and no one else can see it. If your account is private, it will automatically say that. But if, let's say, for some reason you want to change it, or if it does say public, you could just click on it and change it directly from here to one of the other 3 options. But once again, I recommend staying on private, which, like it says, is your default because we turned it on in settings. It's important to put something for where it says what's it for, so that when you're going through your payments later on, you know exactly what you're dealing with. So, if you just type in, thanks, or something like that, it's pretty hard to identify what the payment was for. So when you're going through your payments at the end of the month, that you want to look through them, it will be hard to identify them. So I recommend putting in, let's say, a date, or maybe a very detailed description, even a few words of what exactly the payment is for. If you click on request, Joe will, Joe's sending it to me. I will then receive an email, or I will receive a beep on my phone. Both of them will happen saying Joe Kaplan has requested $5. I will then go into my Venmo and just click on pay. Instead of clicking on request, I would click on pay. I would basically receive a notification, and I could pay Joe the money. If Joe wants to pay me, he'll click on pay, and I will receive a beep, saying Joe Kaplan has paid you money. There's nothing else I have to do, right? Because the money's going straight to me. So it will be placed into what's called my Venmo account. Now, the I guess we'd say the most important part is you could have hundreds and hundreds of dollars in your Venmo account, but how do you get that money from your Venmo account into your bank account or into your credit or debit card? Because it doesn't do it automatically for you. Caroline, are you able to show how to transfer money from here to your bank account? The 3 dots. Joe, you can just click on the 3 dots. Okay, do you want me to do this?
Yeah, okay, I can do this. So once you click on those 3 dots, what you're going to click on is transfer balance. So right here in the top bar, it says the amount of balance or how much money you have in your Venmo account. And once you have that amount and you decide that it's getting too much in your Venmo account or you want to transfer it, you press on transfer balance. And you can either transfer it instantly. You could also choose the amount of money you want to transfer. So let's say you want to transfer only a specific amount out of that $199. You could choose $5 by clicking on the number and changing the amount. So either you can transfer your money instantly, which will cost money, or you can take 1 to 3 business days, which is free.
Right. So out of my experience, I would say that I've never used instant because number one, it costs money. Number two, 1 to 3 business days doesn't usually take that long. I've never had a payment take that long. It usually does take a few seconds, a few minutes, maybe a few hours, even if you do 1 to 3 business days. So I wouldn't be, unless you desperately need the money right then, right now. I would use the 1 to 3 business days option. What it will do then is it will send the Venmo money from the Venmo app into your bank account. The reason why it doesn't do it automatically is so that if you, let's say you want to pay someone $199 tomorrow, you could do it directly through Venmo because you already have the money that you've received or you have it in your Venmo account, and you could do it directly from there. So you could keep money in your Venmo account or maybe a specific amount of money in your Venmo account. You could do that, or you could just transfer directly to your bank account every time you receive some sort of Venmo payment. Okay, Joe, we could stay on your phone. Let's go to the home screen. So Venmo, like I said, is used from when you want to pay from person to person. It's not used to purchase an item at a store or online shopping, from person to person. Now, the last type of kind of banking app is called Apple Pay. And this is used to make payments at a store or at a restaurant, how to make payments without actually using a credit card, just using your phone. So the first thing we showed you, the TD Bank app, is more to manage your payments, to see the amount of money that you have, to do kind of banking involvements, scan a check, pay a bill, all that. Venmo is used from one person to another. And what we're about to show you now, Apple Pay, is used to make a purchase in a store or in an actual restaurant or something physical, and even for online shopping as well. So Apple Pay is specific to the iPhone. There is an alternative on Android phones that comes with the phone, but we're going to be looking at it on the Apple phone. The icon looks like this. It looks like a little wallet. It's over here. And it will come with your phone. You don't have to go to the App Store. It is there for you. If you click on the wallet app, show you could do right now, you'll be taken to your wallet. Now this is now Joe, you can see, does have a few cards in here. If we scroll down, you see he has a Citi credit card, and he has tickets to a Knicks game. So you can not only keep credit and debit cards, but you can keep gift cards, you can keep tickets to movies, tickets to video whatever you're doing. You could actually keep those stored in here, so that when you get up to the door of the Knicks game, hold up your phone with the ticket on it, and they will, they'll see, all right, it says section whatever, then they'll see it, and they will even see the QR code, which is what they would scan. It's the same thing they would scan on a ticket. They would hold up a scanner and just hold it up to your phone, and they'll be able to actually detect your ticket without even having any sheet of paper. But the important part, which we're going to look at, is adding and using a credit or debit card. So to add one of those cards, here, Julia, you want to explain how to add a card?
Okay, so to add a new credit card, you're going to click on that white plus button on the top right corner. And that will bring you to a page where you're able to choose what type of credit card. So we'll click on credit or debit card, but if it's one of the other ones, you would click on those. And then you're going to press continue. And then it's going to ask you to take a picture of your credit card, or you can enter the details manually by clicking the blue button. So if you have the card with you, you're able to just scan a picture of the card instead of inserting all of the information. But if it's not with you at the moment, then you're able to just enter all of the information manually. So if Joe clicks on that button, you can see that you're able to insert the name and the card number. And once you do that, it will prompt you to next, and you're going to basically fill out all of the information, the expiration date. And once you complete all that information, you will have added the card to your Apple Wallet.
Great. So this is very similar to the other programs you were looking at, in terms that you should definitely have your card in front of you when you're doing this. It will ask you for everything on the card, including the number, expiration date, CVC, whatever, all that information you should have accessible, and you'll put it into the app. Now, what's very nice about using technology is that you only have to do this busy work the first time, because once you put in the credit card, it will be there, right? It's not going anywhere, and then from then on, it's much easier. But the first time you do it, you do have to put in the credit card. Now, once you have a credit card in, Caroline, are you able to show them how to use the credit card once it's already been added to your Apple Wallet?
Yeah, so the way that you could use your credit card once it's in your Apple Wallet is when paying or at like a cash register or something you can do is either first you could use it in stores. So that way you would do it is you would either enter your passcode to your phone, and that way Apple Wallet would allow you to use the credit card by clicking 3 times on your lock button. So if you click 3 times on your lock button, then a slide will come up with the wallet, and that'll allow you to put your Face ID in or your code, and that will let you pay. The second way to pay is if you're trying to buy an app on the App Store, you can use Apple Pay, and it'll just help you scan your face instead of entering in all your information.
Right. So here, let me just reinforce that. When you are making a payment in the store, if you click on the power button, which is the button on the right side of the screen, the button that turns on and off the phone, if you click on that button 3 times, 1, 2, 3, this is for people who have this type of phone that does not have a home button. I'm going to get to the home button in a second. But for those of you who have a newer phone, you want to click on the power button 3 times. Once you do that, exactly what's on Joe's screen will come up, and it will say, hold near reader. What do you think that means? That means you should hold your phone up to the credit card reader. to the machine that says hold up your credit card, and you will actually hold up your phone. It will scan the credit card instantaneously. It's pretty cool how it does it, but without even having your credit card, you'll just hold up your phone and do it. If you have a phone with a home button, you basically want to open up the wallet app and hold your finger on the circle button. So lay your finger down on the home button or the circle button, and you'll get the same exact pop-up that says hold near reader. So if you have a newer phone that does not have a home button, click on the power button 3 times, 1, 2, 3. It has to be together, so they detect it as 3 times and not twice or once, or 3 separate clicks. And then you'll get the hold near reader pop-up. If you do have a phone with a circle button at the bottom of the screen, the home button, which I think many of you do have, you should just open up the wallet app. And once you have it open, lay your finger, I think it's your thumb, you should lay your thumb on the circle button or the home button, and it will give you the same pop-up, hold near reader. You will then take your phone, put it directly next to the credit card reader. It will scan it, and you will be able to make the purchase. And like Caroline said, you could also use Apple Pay in the App Store and on the internet. Let's say you're on Amazon or online shopping websites like that. When you get to the checkout portion of it, when you're checking out or when you're being successful with a purchase, it will usually ask for your credit card information. And if the website accepts Apple Pay, another option will be use Apple Pay. And it will then, if you click on that, it will give you the credit cards that you have in your Apple Pay wallet, which in this case, we only have one, but if you had multiple, you will see those in the app, and you could just use those credit cards from the app. Not all websites allow you to use Apple Wallet, which is why if you are going to a restaurant, if you're going to a store, I wouldn't 100% rely on this and just show up with your phone, because you might get into a situation where they don't accept it. I would say most stores do nowadays. Like I know all pharmacy is definitely the Apple Store, Starbucks. Like many of these stores do accept Apple Pay, but you definitely don't want to get into a circumstance where you won't be able to. Joe, we can go back to your phone because I want to show the stocks. It should be pretty self-explanatory. The only thing is that, which I say with every topic we cover, is that you have to get practice. As you do this more and more, you will get the hang of it. But for many of the things that we looked at today so far, I recommend just putting in the information, putting in your credit card number, because that's definitely the first thing you have to do. You won't be able to do anything without that. You'll put in your information, and it really should be the same type of information for all the apps. So for all 3 of the ones we looked at so far, it should be the similar type. Maybe some of them want your email, some of them don't, but it should be the same general gist. Yes, I see there's a question. You should unmute yourself. Just click on unmute in the center of the screen. We cannot hear you. There you go.
Hi. I was wondering, how do you delete a credit card that you've once put in? Maybe you want to change it, or it expired, or you want to get out of the PayPal?
Yeah, no, it's a good question. Here, Joe, if you go back into your Apple Wallet, the first step is to click on the credit card you want to delete. So let's click on the Citi credit card, and then you want to click on the 3 dots that you find all the way at the top right of the screen. I'll circle it so you can see it clearly. So all the way at the top right. If you click on that, show you could do. I think if you scroll down towards the bottom, you should see at the bottom, remove this card. Just by clicking on that, it will take the card off the app. You could always put it back in later. Okay, let's go to the home screen, and we're very briefly, about 5 minutes, just going to show you the Stocks app, because we think it's this app relates to what we covered today. All right, so the Stocks app is just what it sounds like. If you want to see information about the stock market and what's going on in the stock world, this app is downloaded with your phone. It's over here. Looks exactly like that. The Stocks app, it's like a black icon with some up and down arrows. If you click on that app, here, Joe, you can click on it. Joe, you want to just explain a little bit about what you could do here?
Yeah. So when you first open the stocks app, you will see a list of probably some of the most common stocks. And if you just scroll down, you can see the name, the trend. If it's red, it's going to be a bad trend. If it's green, it's going to be a good trend. And then all the way on the right, you can see the exact increase or decrease for each stock. And if you click on one of them, there are a lot of things you could do. You could see a more detailed chart and trend. And then at the bar right above the graph, Jordan, if you could just circle that bar above the graph. Yeah. So you could see that it says 1D, 1W, 1M. And what those mean are 1 day, 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, and so on. So right now my phone is showing the 1 week trend for Amazon. But if I click on 3 month, then you can see it changes and it shows a 3 month trend. Same thing for 1 day, for 1 year, for 5 years, everything. And then if you scroll down, you can see news and articles about Amazon. So if you, let's say we click on the first one, you can just scroll down and read an article the way you would read any other article.
Yeah, see, I mean, I'm not sure how many of you are actually interested in this type of stuff, but if you are, it's actually pretty, it's pretty easy to actually access it. You can, it's very easy for you to just kind of browse the app to see what's going on, and just check out the stocks. You can click on any of them to find more information about it. Feel free to browse this at some point, and you'll hopefully take advantage of this. Okay, well, let's go back to the presentation.